And here we go. Appears. Turn my monitor phone down. Oh. Take a bite of my burrito.
Oh, you didn't even eat it yet?
No, not yet. I was hoping to.
Love you.
And we're live.
Oh.
And my monitor phone. Oh, hey. What's up, Stephen?
What's up, Jim?
Nice to see you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. The room's a little empty.
I know it's super empty. I've got this seat over there where David Barsky should be sitting.
Yeah.
We miss you, buddy.
Yeah, no, this is actually a tiny little room that I've created. I've put my camera inside of it.
That's clever.
Out.
I love dioramas.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about entering it in art prize this year, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe like you needed something on the wall, like a little painting or.
I mean, I got this big TV on the wall. That's the TV.
Oh wow, that's some bright shades, I guess.
Yeah, I figure it's not good to just look at the world through rose-tinted glasses, so I get a little bit of every color on there just to play it safe.
Yeah, I love a purple durple day,
Yeah, it depends. The way I tilt my head, I see a different color in the world through it.
That's pretty cool. I'd like to look at a lot of things.
Yeah, I invented these, and they gave me a first place ribbon for it.
Dude, that's awesome.
I can't wear them while I show off my ribbon, though. It's just the way I made them.
Well, that makes sense.
I don't want to distract from the greatness of the ribbon.
It's a breathtaking ribbon, especially the way it floats there up in Alaska.
Yeah, it gets a lot of reactions, mostly happy, a lot of smileys.
Some of those are quite intense.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Like, wow, okay, that's better. Whew.
Yeah, no, I think this is how it'll stay for the night.
I definitely like that.
Yep.
Definitely like the old-fashioned TVs.
It'd be cool if they let you put in your own custom ones. Oh, Studio Effects Beta. Maybe this will get more additions in it later. I'd never seen these video filters before.
Is that on Zoom?
Yeah, on Zoom.
That's cool. Yeah, I only have 3, but maybe it's because I'm using my tablet and not my computer.
Could be.
Or because I don't know how things work, sometimes.
Right, yeah. Technology, they're always changing it. You can never keep up with everything.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. Like, I wasn't really big on Facebook at all, really. But then whenever I would go there, which wasn't very often, it would be like so totally different that I never understood what was going on. So I was just like, this thing. Like, yeah, is everybody reading this, or is it just my mom, or, I don't know. I'm just, I've always been anti-Facebook. So I figured it was a thing.
Yeah, Facebook, it's all right.
I mean, unlike Twitter and YouTube, Facebook's like totally for spying.
Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of for spying, but it's,
Oh, yeah.
I don't really have too much to be worried about for people spying on me. If anything, they could steal my ideas or try and stop me from coming up with ideas. But even then, if they're that interested in me, they're learning a thing or two. And that's the point of what I'm doing, is to try and get some info out there. And I know for sure whoever's watching isn't familiar with some of the stuff I'm talking about. My FBI agent, he's getting smart as hell over there.
I bet.
He's questioning his own job. He's like, what am I doing with my life?
I wonder if he's in the chat.
Yeah, he's probably giving us some thumbs up.
Hey, Steve, are you in the chat? I think mine's name is Steve.
Oh, really?
I just have the feeling, yeah.
What a coincidence.
I know. Well, I don't think it's you.
Yeah, have you ever seen me and your FBI agent in the same room?
Oh, what? Wait a second. No, wait. I've never actually seen you and Superman in the same room either, and
Look.
my FBI agent.
Look, I can explain that one. Let's not pull that thread too much. That's an
Well,
identity
yeah.
I'm not willing to expose yet.
Maybe if you took the glasses off, I'd recognize as you as Superman.
Yeah. I wonder what would happen if Superman used his laser vision through glasses that were like laser vision proof, if they would like get refracted or like, spread out. How the prescription was.
I
For some
bet.
reason, it won't let me comment in the chat here. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
I see you saying hey, but
Yeah,
if I say yo, oh, there it goes. I guess I had to just reload my page. That's YouTube for you.
Man, YouTube, you're starting up with all the stuff, making us reload.
Pretty weird now that new, I guess it's not too weird, but the YouTube now has the ability to monetize any channel, even if it's not monetized. Have you heard about that? Yeah, they just updated their terms of service, and now channels that have any videos on there, YouTube's allowed to put however many ads they want throughout it.
Oh, so, really? Without your consent?
Yeah, like it's on their platform, so they can add. So basically, when this is done streaming, YouTube could put ads in it on the actual video. Not that they will, but they could if they wanted to. And you wouldn't get any money from it. It's just for them.
And Cottonelle. Toilet paper is so good, you can wipe your ass with it.
Look, YouTube. You've got him doing ads himself now. In the madness.
Yeah, I want some of that lucrative Cottonelle money.
Yeah. Come on, Cottonelle. We've said the name 4 or 5 times now. At least slip us a 20 or something.
I know that you were holding out during that first run on the grocery stores.
Right. We know how much money you made.
Doling out the soft paper products real slow, making us all sweat for it.
Yeah, the toilet paper thing. That was one of those unforeseeable. No one could have possibly predicted that. That's a prophecy that would make me believe in prophecy. Like if somebody in 2016 said 2020, the world will experience a massive toilet paper shortage, that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody would have believed them.
It's true. That's funny. When you think of bad paper, you think of like banks that are going under, not toilet paper companies.
Toilet paper hasn't even been around for that long.
Yeah, it's so weird. Wonder what they wiped their butts with before toilet paper.
When it first started, people would be getting like splinters and stuff. Because the paper, it was just, it was so coarse. There's never been pampering like modern toilet paper. The stuff you can get down at the store today. We're not here to talk about toilet paper, though. We're here to chill and to minimize the TP talk.
No more TP talk today. This is not a boys' locker room. This is.
So yeah, David's MIA. Jones is recovering. He said Bocephus is joining us later.
Yes. Hopefully so. As soon as he can, he will.
Word. Yeah, the first time I was on here, it was David and Jones, Snake Jones. And it was him and I, and then Bocephus joined in. And I think it was you that wanted to get me on the show originally. You were wanting to talk to me, and then the one time I got on the show, it was sort of a last minute thing. I think David hit me up and asked if I wanted to join in, and I did. And then you weren't there, and so we said we were going to have to do another show, and then that never followed through. I think we were going to do it on the 2nd of January. Now it's the 6th, the 7th of February.
Yeah, is it already? Man,
Time flies, yeah. But now it's just you and no one else.
I know things have been kind of weird lately with all the stuff going on, and I kind of missed the last couple of shows. I think, or a couple of weeks anyway. I don't know if there were. Yeah, I've been doing stuff and out of town and this and that, so it's nice. I've been kind of jonesing to get back on the YouTubes.
Back on the ham horn.
Back on the ham horn.
Yeah.
Stand on my stage of
fake glow births.
Milk. What?
Fake glow births.
Fake glow births, yeah.
You could, if you were proportionate to the earth in the background, you'd be massive. You could step across the earth in just a few steps.
I could.
You'd take out all of Italy in one step.
I would take it out with my boot.
Yeah. Yeah, you could drop your hat and take out power for all of the UK. No one could see the sky.
Yeah, those guys. I don't even think they need power.
I mean, it's pretty cloudy up there anyways. It's not like they can see much of the sky anyways.
It's pretty cloudy. And yeah. Yeah, I haven't, speaking of that little island over there, I haven't heard from Darren Williams in a minute. Do you know Daz?
It kind of sounds familiar, but I couldn't put a face to the name just by hearing it.
He's sort of our official Liverpool correspondent.
All right.
Whenever the time zones line up in the right way, he pops in for that.
Yeah, because it is a lot later there. It's like, I think 6 hours ahead or something from where I'm at. So it's got to be like 9 hours ahead where you're at.
Yeah, it's like when we're going to bed, he's getting up or something. Or who knows about, time. It always boggles my mind, the whole like time zones. I'm super angry at Benjamin Franklin for coming up with daylight savings time, because it screws me up like for half of the year, because I get used to the other one, and then it switches and I have to get up an hour earlier, and then like it takes me a couple months to get used to that, and then I'm good for a minute, and then it all just goes away again,
Yeah, daylight savings time is nonsense. And then some places don't even observe it.
Was Benjamin Franklin even a real person?
I think he was a real person.
Because he's he would be a composite of a lot of people if he wasn't a real person, because he did so much noteworthy stuff, It sounds almost like too fantastic, like discovering electricity and, just the basic stuff that they teach you. He's like, inventing bifocals and all kinds of stuff. He's like Mr. Pillow, an inventor of his age.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's substantial evidence that he was real, but possibly if I re-examined that evidence, he wouldn't look as legitimate.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just speculation, of course, but and then when you kind of get into it, there's also a lot of weird, creepy stuff that they attribute to him, like all of the bones under his house. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, they found a lot of bodies.
Yeah, a lot of
figure someone got to put those bodies there. If it wasn't Ben Franklin, is the guy penning the story.
Yeah, I think he had like a friend who was a doctor or something that he let stay there, is supposedly the story. And he was doing secret, research.
Research on humans has generally been frowned upon unless they consent, but even then, they might not know exactly what they're consenting to.
That's true. Yeah, like Have you ever heard of Burking? It's called Burking, and it's
The fast food place?
no that
Nah, I'm kidding.
BK.
Birking
It's
now. What's that?
Burke. It's named after a guy with the last name of Burke, and it's a technique to strangle someone so that you don't leave like handprints on them.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
And the guy, he was part of like
Guy named Bert came up with it, huh?
yeah, a guy named Burke, and they would like bring homeless people. They meet a homeless person or whatever, somebody's down on their luck, and offer them a warm hot meal and some rum and a place to sleep for the night, and they get them drunk.
Burk them.
And he'd burk them, and then he would sell their corpse to the university.
Oh yeah, you got to get some money for a corpse.
You got to, How else are you gonna pay for your fancy shoes and
kites? Kites don't grow on trees,
Kites don't grow on trees.
And someone's got to make those keys, and keys aren't free either. So
aren't free.
I figured kites and keys. We're talking Franklin over here.
Yeah, I'm like, why would he put a key on? Why not like something else that was metal? Like, why is it a key?
I don't know. I never looked too much into that story. Seems kind of like a weird story though, just on the surface of it. Like guys flying a kite in a thunderstorm with a key on it.
What's he out trying to prove, Like he doesn't know.
I think I read somewhere that it was a mistake that he discovered electricity, like he was trying to do something else. I figured it out. He's like, oh, I just discovered one of the greatest things that has ever been discovered by accident.
Yeah, let's make everybody get up an hour early.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 months out of the year now, we're setting the clocks back.
Benjamin Franklin, you jerk. Oops.
Maybe that's what all the bodies were people who complained.
Oops. Yeah. Don't complain.
It's like a story that they tell their children, don't complain or Franklin will come get you. Daylight savings time. Yeah. It's normal.
Your bones will be in his basement.
Nothing out of place here.
And I think he was also in the Hellfire Club. Have you heard about the Hellfire Club?
Yeah, I think I have heard of that.
It's like
yeah, I think I've looked into that.
Satanic French party club.
Yeah, I looked into a lot of that stuff when I was younger, and I haven't moved back to it yet. Now that I'm older, talking like a couple years of difference here. It'd be interesting to look back into that. I've been so busy with my other studies, though. It's difficult sometimes for me to choose what I really want to focus on. And then I know the longer that I stick with a single subject, the more comprehensive my understanding of it will be. And I like to see just how far I can get my bounds, how much I can map out in the territory, these different fields that I explore. I like to get a lot of information so that I'm not working with an incredibly limited frame of reference. So it'll be good. It'd be interesting to look back on some of that. I've been listening to podcasts again recently that are still talking about the evil Freemasons and the evil Jesuits and everything like that. And while I'm familiar with kind of the stuff, because I've looked into that before, and I know that there are Freemasons and Jesuits who have done some pretty messed up stuff, but I have a hard time wrapping my head around that every single person that's become a Freemason or a Jesuit has done horrendous things. But maybe
yeah, it's definitely a fallacy to say that it's the Freemasons or it's the Jesuits or it's because it's not, because there are people that, I mean, even if let's say that people on the upper levels were all bad guys, which we can't say that, but I mean, even if that were true, then the entry level guys aren't. You know, just like your neighborhood policeman who's a Freemason also is not.
Well, people change too. They renounce their allegiances, and so people could be a Jesuit at one point in their life, and then become kind of like Christians, atheists to Christians. Some Christians become atheists, and some atheists become Muslims. And I don't know how the conversion rate from Muslim to Buddhist is, but I imagine there's at least one person who's done that in existence. You know, people, they change their fundamental framework that they operate from sometimes. Sometimes that can happen just from a brain injury. Changes your whole entire personality. You get in a car wreck and all of a sudden you're the most intolerable person in the planet.
Yeah, that's very sad. I that's happened to, you know, people that I know, where a friend of mine had a skiing accident and hit a tree, and it was in high school, and he was funny and outgoing and, you know, life of the party before that, and then after that he just kind of got weird, like different, like kind of, he'd always be sneaking off, and I don't know,
Sneaking around.
yeah, like just kind of not like he was up to anything, just kind of like, you know, lurky, like not the same outgoing sort of person. He'd be like, oh hey, kind of like sneak around, I guess. I don't know.
Took a hit to the head and got sneakier.
Yeah, you don't want to get sneakier.
I don't know though. Some of these groups, well, we're talking about labeling in order. So say all the like the Jesuits, it's kind of like a group mindset type thing. You know, if you can target a group, then you create this us versus them type mentality. You know, and it's comforting to know that you and a group of people are all fighting the Jesuits because the Jesuits are so evil, or the Jews if you hate Jewish people. Yeah, that's there's definitely something to that, the group think, where it's sort of like it's very like primal, getting into groups like that. I think there's been some psychologists that have covered this. I'm pretty sure I'm not misremembering this, but
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a way to get people to, you know, join up as you appeal to their sense of tribe, and then it's sort of, it's an archetypal thing inside of your brain, you know, like it's survival.
yeah, we do better in groups.
Like cooperation.
The whole reason that you and I are driven to speak with each other right now is because we're social creatures. We like to discuss things with each other, and especially men. We bond over shared interest, and yeah, that's. I mean, that was. I think I read a study about this where that's like the number one thing that men will have friendships over is if they have similar interests, and so if interests split, you know, if you were 100% about sports and I couldn't give two shits about it, then we probably wouldn't be talking about anything. But we both are kind of in the truther community. We both care about the truth and spreading information about that. And so yeah, we've got we got common interests. So yeah, there's definitely benefits to group endeavors, but the like kind of what you were saying, you know, you can't. It's each individual is different. The guys at the top could be corrupt, but the scrubs, they don't know any better. Can we cuss on this stream? Do you guys cuss?
We cuss.
Yes. I said the S word there. I usually try to keep it PG when I'm talking online, but I figured this was more of a laid back stream anyways.
It is. I try to keep it PG sometimes, and then sometimes I have to emphasize a curse word, so I'll say it. So I mean, there's no real we're not like targeted towards children or anything, so we're all adults here.
You don't hit this video is made for children option when you post these? It's a requirement now to say no, it's not made for children.
Yeah, I have been hitting the no button recently, but before I always skipped that because I used to go to the classic YouTube
Right.
studio.
Well, they just made that. They just updated that recently.
Yeah.
All my content on my channel is more than okay for children to watch, but I have to say no, it's not made for kids just because they force me to do that. Otherwise, I can't monetize it, or I think it has something maybe to do with commenting is affected. There's some things that get affected if you say, yes, this is made for kids.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think maybe it doesn't show up or something. It seems like somebody that I know had one video that they had listed for kids, and I couldn't. It didn't show up. I had to like.
Maybe because you're an adult, you just couldn't find it.
Yeah.
As soon as you hit 18, you're no longer able to see the video. It's just a
That
blank
makes
screen.
It's like the Yanni and the other one. Uh, those words, Laurel and
Oh
Yanni.
yeah, yeah, I remember that.
On the same.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird time.
You can hear it.
Everyone was saying that.
Yeah, that was a weird time.
Like, what happened there? The internet trends are so weird. I think they're weird. It's interesting. I've been trying to monitor my vocabulary recently, and part of ontology is the ontology, the study of being and what is. to say that internet trends are weird is to say that they like that's what it is, but that's just my take on it. So it would be more accurate for me to say I think internet trends are weird. I think they're interesting and fascinating how some stuff just picks up.
Well, it is definitely true, and it feels like there's agents pushing it, not like special agents per se, but like advertising and it's like they group influencers together on purpose. Maybe like they have a popular show talk about another popular show, and then they end up crossing the audiences. Like I was watching H3 the other day.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's sort of like a mainstream sort of show. They have a huge audience, and just like the way that they cross promote other YouTube influencers by like making fun of them, but it's gonna drive people to check out those shows even though they're making fun of it. They're gonna watch it just to see, and voila, they're they're pushing. It's like how they run the stock market and push it either up or down depending on they influence it.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely use influencers for nefarious reasons. But that's just part of getting that public sway, to try and convince people to do things. And yeah, they definitely have people that are mouthpieces for hire that will just say anything that they get paid to say, which is why it makes our job a little bit more difficult because we're independent. We don't have our strings pulled by somebody else that is giving us our paycheck. At least we're not playing by someone else's terms as far as like the content that we create goes. We kind of have to edit it a little bit for YouTube and to not violate any of the censorship stuff, but there's still a lot of leeway that you can have for being creative on the internet. And really, like, even with my content, I don't really have to censor anything at all because none of it violates YouTube community standards at all, since I'm mostly talking about history. And what does YouTube know about history? Well, like, they're gonna have to learn a lot to be able to even say that any of my stuff is offensive or violates some standard that they have. I might get hit for copyright eventually, but not on any of my recent stuff.
That's good.
Even on my old stuff is not really copyright infringement. The only thing I could think of getting hit for copyright or plagiarism is the plagiarism of ideas or copyrighted ideas. But like, that's such a difficult thing. Like, who is claimed to an idea? Like, unless you got that on formal contract, like this guy came up with this idea on this day and he has legal rights, exclusive legal rights. Yeah.
How do they determine what or who, whether it's a unique idea or, you know, is it exactly the same?
When I get enough money, I'm hiring a lawyer that specializes in that stuff. But until then, I gotta go into it dark with a lighter into this cave to try and illuminate stuff. I guess I could make the time to do it, but there's only so much time in the day. I'd rather spend it chatting with people and studying my trade, which is history and chronology, and a bit of psychology and philosophy, which is, there's a lot of wings, a lot of different things you got to consider when talking about the past.
That's right.
A lot of stuff to be aware of.
It's crazy how much it all geography plays into a story just as much as the characters, you know.
Right.
Knowing where, history-wise anyway. I have to look at a map and timelines if I'm reading something in the Bible, you know, I like to look at where they're at, what's going on, you know, for example, or
yeah, it can definitely help. But it puts into perspective where things happened. But even that could get botched. It's like, how are you determining whether or not you're looking at an accurate representation of what happened there?
Yeah, and it's who told who's telling the story, you know, who, like, as far as the Bible goes, basically it's the Council of Nicaea that had the end decision on what was canon and what isn't. So I always wonder what was going on.
They still had other decisions to be made. Yeah, the Nicene Council was not the end all be all.
Wasn't?
No, the Bible has gone through many different councils to determine what's legit and what's not. I'm not an expert on the history of church councils, though, so I'm not going to speak too much. I don't want to botch anything. But I think the Council of Laodicea was another important one that's considered to be ancient. One of the more recent ones, I think, was the Council of Trent, where it was during the Reformation, if I'm not mistaken.
That makes sense.
But even that stuff, like, I've tried to find and ask people when I couldn't find for the sources on the Council of Nicaea, like what documents do we actually have about the council, who reported on it and stuff like that. And I guess maybe I haven't looked hard enough or smart enough, but the sources for it are scarce at best, I think, from what I've seen. Or at least they've been difficult for me to find the way that they've been positioned on the internet. And some stuff, the way these search engines work now, some stuff is difficult to find that otherwise would not be.
I've noticed that.
better systems were in place.
Well, they bury stuff so well, and that and like the whole like the renaming of things, like naming something the same name that is something that they don't want you to search. You know, like Tesla is an example. You know, I think
Right.
that one of the reasons they chose that name for Elon's car company is because of the name recognition, but it didn't really have that much before. But now when you Google Tesla, you get Tesla car stuff first, and then you get Nikola Tesla stuff. You know, kind of.
Second, yeah. No, that's like what they did with the Walt Disney's head or something. That's what the whole. Have you heard that conspiracy about Frozen?
No,
Yeah,
the movie Frozen.
I think they might have already had the movie in the works or something, but the reason why they changed the name is because people were searching for the frozen head of Walt Disney, or some famous person's head is supposedly stored at Disney. And so they named the movie Frozen so that when people search for Disney Frozen head or something, they could sure
Wow.
you find the movie and you're not looking into the guy's severed head.
I wouldn't doubt that that's what they were doing. That makes sense because I remember hearing about that. Like I was little. I think it was. I don't remember when he died, but maybe it was. I was still alive. Seems like it. Maybe not.
Walt Disney's frozen head, yeah. I just Googled it real quick. I mean, I did get that right. So
When did they do that?
I don't. When the movie came out, I remember they
Yeah.
made jokes on it. They made jokes about it on like Family Guy or something. But yeah, world's a weird place. I've been
Place.
so yeah. We've been streaming for what now? 40 minutes, 36 minutes. So that's I know you're still eating your burrito. I've been trying to fill the dead air, but
sorry.
what kind of questions did you have for me? Because I had never really asked you about them off air. I figured you could just blindside me with them while you got me on the line.
Well, gosh, I don't know. I haven't been thinking about it recently, but
It has been a month or two.
yeah, I kind of things have been pretty hectic. I had to just focus on work stuff and been away from the interwebs a little bit. So it's nice to be back, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of I'm a little distracted because I just got these goat babies.
Right. Can you see them from where you're sitting?
Well, kind of. There's a little pen, but I keep thinking about them. I'm gonna grab one of them. Oh, they're so cute in there. Hey, babies.
I think he's gonna grab one of these and bring him on the screen, maybe.
Oh.
He's got 3 kids.
3 kids.
Goats. Yeah, look at him. His head's getting cut out from the green screen effect.
This is Maybelline. She's a sweetie. They're 5 days old.
Wow.
I had 3 of them, and their mom passed away, giving birth to one of them. So they need to be bottle fed now. Hi, sweetie.
How much do goats sleep?
I don't know. These guys like kind of do the little baby thing. So like after you feed them, they sleep for 2.5 hours.
And you gotta feed them again.
Yeah. And they pee on the ground and.
You said you had to feed them every 3 hours.
Yeah, every 3 hours I gotta feed them. Right now, I'll put you back, sweetie. They're sure are nice though. Oh hey guys. Oh hey. Oh, it's straw. But yeah. So that's fun.
We got Kevin in the chat asking who's missing. We're missing David, Snake, Bucephus. Who else do you usually have on the show? Just you three?
Sometimes we have Jerky Fresh, who he hasn't been on for a long time though, because he has to get up super early for work. He had a schedule change, and so he's an early guy now, early to bed guy. So, yeah, it's just kind of been that way. It seems like, and David Barsky, he's I guess they're having a blizzard there. He might be. Last I heard, he said that the internet and the power were down.
That's the last I heard too. So let's hope he's doing all right over there.
Yeah.
We've gotten a ton of snow here. I think I'm across the lake from him. I think he's in Wisconsin. I'm in Michigan.
How's it going there? Did you get the blizzard?
Oh yeah, it's blizzarding right now. We got maybe a foot of snow already. We're looking at more coming the next day or two.
Wow. That's I kind of had a feeling that it was going to happen this year. There was going to be some blizzardies.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just glad that we're set on our mask supply, so I won't have to go out to get any new ones anytime soon.
That's a good idea.
No, just kidding. I got this this fake mask on here. You know, I like to wear it around the house even when I'm by myself just to play it safe.
Just to play it safe, you know?
Yeah, wear it when I'm driving in my car by myself too.
Even when you don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
It makes you feel good to have it there.
I know. And makes me feel like an angel, like I'm doing something good for the world.
I know you're keeping my grandma alive.
Right.
Wearing that mask. So that's nice. I appreciate that. She's a nice lady.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a ripoff. They told me I was going to get a pair of wings too, but they shipped separately, so I'm still waiting on them.
Oh, man.
Got the Halo today.
That's cool. Amazon? Did you get it from Amazon? Or?
Nah, I get it straight from the big guy upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Amazon does the other end.
Yeah. Nah, they're run by the guy down there.
Yeah.
You see, who's the guy? Jeff Bezos stepped down as Amazon CEO. I
heard that.
Yeah, pretty big news.
Is he going to get back together with his ex-wife?
Yeah, I don't know.
That way he can get that fortune back.
Yeah, I think he's got plenty of money as it is.
Yeah.
I can imagine having that much money, but don't know if I'll ever know what it's like having that much money. Oh
man, I don't know. Like I've done the thing where when the lottery gets really big, so you buy a ticket because it's like multiple $1 billion or whatever, and then the fun part is like, what would I do if I won all that money? And then you add up, like, first you take away like 60% for taxes, and then you add up like all of, you want to buy a house for like everybody in your family, all your relatives and whatnot. So you do that, and depending on how many people you have, then it takes a big chunk out.
That's what you would do if you won the lottery?
It'd probably be the first thing I do is just buy houses for everybody, so they'd have a free and clear home wherever.
Buy each of your kids a house?
each of my kids, like every aunt and uncle, relative.
Do you
that
have
I
kids?
know or don't know. I do, yes.
Oh, I
Two
was
kids.
talking about the goats.
Oh,
They each get a house to run around.
I would love to give them a house to run around in,
Right.
but I'm gonna have to work on it in the backyard because I was gonna get those goats in 2 months when they're ready to be given away, um, but then their mom died, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
that's a
follow
sad
these
story.
guys. Yeah,
You're basically in the beginning of a Disney movie right now. It's
yeah.
always some parent dies and the animal gets taken up by a foster parent.
And then you got to add a monster that lives in the closet that sucks fear.
Yeah, something like that.
Pixar is Disney, right?
Are they?
I'd buy you a pod, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a pod as well.
You got it.
Word.
You got it.
Yeah,
I'll definitely.
I don't know what I would do if I won the lottery.
What would you do?
I don't know. I would save it, maybe invest it, try and I would try and get some land and start the Sea Truth business area, because I eventually, like, if I ever do make it big and get a ton of financing from people because they really want to understand where we came from, then I want to get a big property. And I got an article on this. It's outlined in my Sea Truth Goals article, but get a property with like a library on it, a school, get a what's it called, observatory, make a garden, a museum, get all sorts of stuff for learning, and focus it on chronology and time and history and deception and stuff like that. Give people an all-around, well-rounded education on how to perceive the past, how to not get tripped up by the many pitfalls that are intentional and unintentional mistakes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's what the schools claim to be doing, but what people say, it can differ from what they do.
Yeah, I think the schools, when they're holding hands with the student loan process or system, they're just slave making machines. Indentured servitude situations.
Well, there's a lot of nonsense involved in the curriculum too.
Oh yeah.
Just a lot of hoops that you got to jump through that are just a complete waste of time.
I used to always go straight to like the 200 level classes first because I was itching to learn something, and then I'd end up having to take the 100 level, like at the very end, of after I'd, they're like, well, you got to take the 100 level anyway. So, and then it's frustrating because you know all that stuff. They're just feeder, or they're the weed out classes. To like,
Yeah.
They make it really hard and labor intensive, sort of not really hard, but monotonous, I guess.
Nah, yeah, you're right about that. They definitely got the weed out classes.
Yeah, I don't miss that at all about college.
Yeah.
I do miss actually learning stuff. I love just sitting in a class and watching a teacher that's really knowledgeable and excited about their thing.
Yeah.
I can't take
commenting in the chat. He's saying I would make it mandatory. Everybody learn how to do hydroponics for education. And I agree with that. That is something that everyone would benefit from learning about, hydroponics and how to grow food.
Absolutely. I dabbled in some hydroponics like last year I started a little bit. And if you do it like with herbs, cut like a Tupperware, get like a big Rubbermaid or something, and put net cups in it, and fill it with water. You put it outside. You don't even need like pumps or anything, because the action of the sun heating up the water in the morning, it rises and falls, and oxygenates itself as it evaporates, and then sort of falls back down. So you can grow like herbs with just a Rubbermaid full of water. You want to put some nutrients in there. Have you done it before, hydroponics?
No, but I'm familiar with how to do it. I've looked into it before. I've just never had the resources to actually do it, but I could probably do it now. I mean, when I looked into it, I was just a kid, and I was interested in that kind of thing. Now I could look back into it. I'd probably be able to set it up. We've moved into a new place. We got a backyard, so I'd actually have space to do it now as well. The place we lived in before didn't really have any yard space, so could have done it inside, though. It's not like it takes much room for hydroponics.
It's true.
Another thing I was interested in for a while was vertical farming, and improving research on that and how to do that and make it easily accessible to eliminate food deserts, so that people in areas that don't get fresh food can get fresh food. So I always thought that would be interesting to kind of get behind as well.
Yeah, I agree. It makes sense. You have a lot of warehouse space like that where there's a lot of vertical space.
Right.
Stuff, super green or microgreens, they grow super fast.
Yeah, and you can get the hydroponics, like the stacks of them. You can get like 10 acres worth of land and an acre worth of area. So it's a lot more, like you could grow a lot more in a smaller space, but it does take more resources to get the machines and to get to run them and do that. But overall, it can be a beneficial thing to have, or at least to know about.
Yeah.
So,
I like aquaponics too. That's pretty cool. Where you have like fish that live in some water, and then you drain off the water and use that to fertilize your.
Well, yeah, you're talking about getting nutrients in the water. That's where the fish come in, is they provide nutrition for the water. And then you could farm fish while you're growing your food. So you get your meats and your veggies. Yeah, you could do tilapia if you wanted to. I think I would go with the salmon, though.
Yeah, salmon are delicious.
And get some salmon, get like a massive smoker, and just smoke salmon 24/7. Smoking them. What's messed up about farm salmon is that they dye the salmon to get that color, that salmon pink color. That's not normal. It's
what a terrible
in there.
Terrible news to hear that salmon pink is not the natural color of a salmon. What do they put in there? Like iron or something?
I don't know. I think it's like a food coloring or something.
Blood.
I bet I could find it real quick just by looking on Google.
That's pretty interesting. It always trips me out watching how they farm them, because like they'll like take a fish that's spawning or whatever, and they'll just like crack it open over somebody's knee and squirt all the eggs out of its abdomen into a bucket, and do that with like a whole bunch of fish. So there's like a bucket with all these fish eggs in it, and then they'll put the sperm from one fish into the bucket. It's just I don't know, natural selection at work, right?
Yeah, apparently the pink color is natural in the wild, but they don't get it in the captivity because they don't have access to the same resources. So they add pigmenting compounds to the food they give to the salmon so that they get that pink color.
Wow.
Pigmenting compounds. Sounds like a fancy word for food coloring.
No, they're pigmenting compounds.
Yes, yeah, no.
Scientific.
These are
But
distinguished compounds, the finest compounds. It's red 40. Nah, yeah, no, I don't know anything about the what they actually use, so don't take me on my word. I was joking about the red 40 thing. I mean, it could be, but I don't think that's the case. I think they might say red 40 right there on the page if that was the case.
it's a compound, though.
Maybe a little bit of yellow 5, but red 40, I don't know. That stuff, food coloring, that's just wild that they're like, it has adverse effects on people. Like, that's a proven fact that maybe not for every person, but
Food
for
coloring.
a good amount. Yeah, like I didn't realize just how bad it messed you up. So when I was younger and I was eating food coloring,
It was like right out of the little tube.
yeah. Well, no, not right out the tube, but I was eating food with food coloring in it. It's just, I love this red 40. I picked up a bottle of it on the way home, taking like shots of it. No, but now I do my best to avoid that because it just made me like ADHD or something. The red 40 would. I just couldn't focus on anything after eating it. It would start feeling weird. But they're
that
like,
makes sense.
It's just wild. Like, you know, they still allow booze and cigarettes being sold everywhere. Not saying like don't smoke or drink. I see the appeal and the benefit to it here and there, but like those things are known to kill people for certain. But there's still a discussion about cannabis. Like, I don't know, guys. Like, federally, we can't give that the green light yet. But booze, you know, got to keep that going.
Yeah, something's fishy in Denmark about the whole cannabis thing. Anyway, I really honestly think that they want us to be high, but they making it legal. They run the risk of people not wanting to do it. So they
who's they?
Who's they?
Powers that be?
Who knows who they are? Whoever it is that wants people to play video games and not think about history, maybe.
Well, I play video games and think about history, so they've only got me a little bit. I like to play video games. I find them relaxing, and I especially like to play them with friends. You know, it can be good team building exercises, working on communication. But at the same time, you know, you can build those same skills while working on history. It's just I have way more friends interested in video games. I've got maybe a friend, if that, interested in history, at least to the degree that I am.
Yeah, it's tough that way, and honestly, like I think the cannabis on its own, it makes people really think about stuff and see these sort of systems. That's why stoners are a lot of times always conspiracy theorists, or you know, have a weird outlook that you look at things differently, and you can stuff starts to stand out. Like thing I learned in art was one of this boss I had. He was a sculptor, and he used to go look at his sculptures when people were working on them, and he would like put his back to it, and he would hold up a hand mirror and look over his shoulder at the art through a mirror. I was like, what are you doing? And he said that your eye can't see the flaws and stuff because it's used to seeing this thing that you made. And so when you look at it backwards, your brain doesn't make sense of it, so you see the elements of what it is instead of the whole thing. And then you can tell, like, oh, the red doesn't balance the blue. There's way too much, you know, green there or something. Something that you wouldn't be able to tell was wrong otherwise. You can see right away, you know.
Art's fun. Yeah.
Art is fun.
Yeah, that's a fun story too. The mirror, getting a different perspective on it. I feel like I've heard something similar to that before.
But you know what's weird is the whole the selfie thing. Like, it really drives me nuts when I look at a camera, you know, a phone, and my shirt has writing on it and the writing's backwards because the my phone is showing me what a mirror, what I look like in the mirror, but it's not how I look in the picture because it's flipping it around backwards.
Mm-hmm.
That drives me nuts. I mean, as a photographer, I was a photographer, so like you want to see what you're actually gonna see when you look through the viewfinder. You want to see what the end result is. But
I don't take too many selfies, and I rarely wear shirts with text on them, so I can't say that I share that same aggravation.
Yeah,
I imagine there's plenty of people that agree.
I rarely wear shirts with text on them either, but I had a name tag at one point on my shirt, and I was like, and it was backwards, and I was like, what the heck? Something wrong with my device? Why am I backwards? So I rewrote my name tag so it was backwards, took a picture of myself so that it was right way around. And then the picture was backwards when it came out. And I was like, what?
You can't there's no way to flip it on the screen or something.
Yeah, there's a setting.
They've got it hidden. They don't want us to flip the screen.
Some people like it, you know, like.
Let's talk about your Denmark conspiracy though. Well, the powers that be over in Denmark want us getting stoned because it makes us play video games and not think about history.
Oh.
Where are we going with that?
I think that I don't know. Okay. The Church of Scientology does not allow people to do drugs, especially smoke marijuana, apparently.
All right.
And this is something that I got from one of those HBO going, you know, the HBO documentaries, Going Clear or something, or whatever, the one about the Scientology. And the reason was that they weren't allowed to smoke pot, is that supposedly that people that would use cannabis would see the cult in the Scientology, and then they would want to leave.
That's got to be a head trip.
Oh man,
can you imagine smoking a joint after growing up as a Scientologist?
And then being like, whoa, and the whole Scorsese really happens, and
yeah, like, oh, what is this guy writing?
Yeah. Well, you know, that happens, and it's not necessarily about Scientology, but like that's kind of anybody that's a conspiracy theorist is they see things from that different perspective, I think, because otherwise you're not going to be able to notice it. You have to see things sort of differently, or have an experience, I guess, that pushes you into that realm.
You know, I'm really into Fomenko's new chronology, right? Like, not into it like that I believe it all, but into it as in I'm familiar with it and its kind of effects on society and the way that people have responded to it. And one thing I've been thinking about kind of recently, just in the back of my head, is the conspiracy theory thing. Like, there's the claim that it's a conspiracy theory. I'm not sure if I would even call it that by their own definition, but then a lot of those people will also say that it's Russian propaganda for pro-Russia nationalism. But if it's that, then that's not what they're saying it is, which means that they think there's a conspiracy going on, that they're like trying to use conspiracy in a derogatory term as a derogatory term, but then they've also come up with a conspiracy theory that the Russians are plotting to rewrite history for their own gain, that a secret group, or maybe not even a secret group, but they've done this secretly behind closed doors to try and fool everybody into thinking that it's something that it's not. But it has been giving me a bit of a chuckle to think about these people who are unwittingly creating a conspiracy theory while also bad mouthing conspiracy theories.
Yeah, they really did a number on them or us or whoever it is, because being a conspiracy theorist and talking about whatever, all this stuff on the internet, I've been a tool for these dudes' agendas all the time, just even talking about it, because it's the way they move people, and everything that's interesting to talk about, everything is burning up on Twitter. Seems like there's a point to all of it, a control point, a sort of a Hegelian direction that, yeah, so there's like always something to get fired up about. So when I don't pay any attention to the news, when I don't look at political stuff on Twitter, then everything's fine, in the world. There's so much stress gone, I don't know.
Someone's asking your opinion on the Times article.
The Times article? What time?
The General Times article.
Oh. Yeah, no, I don't know. I know that, yeah.
Have you read any Times articles recently?
I read, so the only thing I read recently on Twitter was, I read former President Trump's resignation from the Screen Actors Guild letter.
Can we get your opinion on that?
It was fantastic.
They want your opinion on something, so we got to give them something.
Oh, my opinion. Let's see.
Cabal fortifying. That's the next lead. Times article, Cabal fortifying. Is this ringing any bells?
Let's see. Cabal fortifying. The Wu flu is a brilliant scam. They got to take away most of all the goods and services, and people still have to pay taxes for schools and everything anyways. That's true, I'd say. My opinion is it doesn't really matter. Just keep doing the things that keep you alive into the future, and keep an eyeball on everything. But
everything. You heard it from Jim.
Got
to keep an eyeball on everything.
An eyeball on everything.
Don't let us catch you slipping. Because we'll know, because we're keeping an eyeball on everything too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's right. that's how we know. And I don't have to tell you why we know, because the eyeball.
Yeah, no, we obtained omniscience as soon as we became conspiracy theorists. So if you're not omniscient yet, then you aren't a true conspiracy theorist. You've been duped.
Yeah, you're stupid, and you're probably an agent, and you need to give us money.
You're an internet shill, so yeah, give us some money.
Give us some money and share the link, and go fuck yourself.
All right, so yeah, I've been cracking a lot of jokes this episode. You've been cracking some jokes. This is definitely more of a fun, chill episode than anything serious. We kind of just decided to do this last minute. We didn't have a topic to talk about. and it's just you and me. No one else is here yet.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to get going here in a second, anyways, too. So I don't know if anyone in the chat had any questions for me, or if, Jim, you could, if you thought up any questions as we were sitting here chatting.
Man, I
I'd
had
be happy
so
to
many
answer
questions.
them.
The last time I had so many questions. I think
It's so funny. I asked someone the other day about this. I wrote an article on it. I haven't published it yet, but I asked him about one of his sources for something, or even to point me in the right direction for information on the history of history degrees. And he said, "Oh, there's just so many examples. So much literature has been written on this topic that he didn't name anything. There's like, it's just like this. It's kind of like a theme where people are like, oh, there's like, what's your favorite food? Oh, there's so many foods. I couldn't possibly start to name one of them." He's like,
yeah,
"You see any
it's that
movies lately?" "Oh yeah, dude, dozens." "Yeah." I'm
I see
like,
all
"Could
of
you
them.
name one?" "Oh no, man, that's asking too much." Like, "You got any questions for me?" "Oh, dude, like they were just pouring out of my head. I had nonstop stream of consciousness one after another, but now I just couldn't recall any of them."
That's the way it goes.
It cracks me up.
Yeah, it's like it made me think what you were just saying. Like, so somebody writes an article and mentions something, and then it gets cited by another article, and so once it's in like two articles and an article is cited another article, is that pretty much a fact at that point?
Nah, it just means one article cited another article.
Well, if you're gonna be technical, I guess you're right.
Nah, like talking about Famienka's new chronology. I just listened to a few more podcasts today. I'm getting better and better at searching the interwebs for anyone talking about Famienka's new chronology. So if you're talking about it, on any popular social media apps, I'm gonna find you and
Nice.
comment maybe. But nah, basically like this Wikipedia article is just butchering so many people's views, like that these people that don't look past Wikipedia, they kind of just take Wikipedia and run it. There's this thing on there right now on Famienka's New Chronology's Wikipedia page, and it's been up there for a while, that says history was intentionally falsified, everything prior to 1600 by the Vatican and the Romanovs and the Germans working together. And it cites this paper from 2012. So here this is how it ties into what you're just talking about. We get an article citing an article, but this article that it cites doesn't cite anything to support the claim that Wikipedia pulls from that article. Which is, it's weird. I have an article on my website reviewing the article that Wikipedia's article is cited, and it's the the article is something about conspiracies by this, I think she's French, and she has citations all throughout the article for some specific claims, and it cites the exact work and sometimes page number for Famienka's publications to say, look, this is where he's talking about it. But then when it comes to the 1600 thing, everything prior to 1600 has been falsified. There's no citation for that. And so it's up to you to wade through the maybe tens of thousands of pages of Famienka's new chronology to try and find exactly where she found that. I, on the other hand, have a specific quote with page number and work and citation saying that it's 1650 that things start to get a little bit more sketchy, around the 1650 mark. But it's not that everything prior to 1650 has been absolutely fabricated and falsified. It's just that's kind of like around the spot where it starts to get sketchier. Some stuff after that is distorted, and the further back you go from that, it gets more distorted. But to say everything prior to 1600 is falsified is just blatantly wrong. But if you can find that in the works, I'd be interested, because then I can line up these two quotes and say, look, he's saying this thing right here and a totally different thing right here. That's a contradiction. This is sketch to have this in the publications without any explanation. But I don't think the 1600 thing exists anywhere. And I would be surprised. I read through the 7 volumes a couple years ago. I read through the ebooks. I read through a lot of the other publications that they had available on their website, and I don't ever remember seeing that, much less a claim about the Holy Roman Empire, the Vatican, and the Romanovs all working hand in hand together as one cohesive unit to destroy the history of the Russian horde. I definitely remember him citing examples from each of them about them distorting history, but those are pretty well established facts that I don't think many people would even be opposed to. People as in historians, they can just check it.
That's savage. It's fuck. Those glasses, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, articles citing articles. That's basically it.
Yeah, it sounds like they just like ran out of like they just got lazy, and so they're just like, oh, it was like 1600, so that's fair, that's fine. I don't remember where I saw it, so I'm just gonna pretend like I put in there.
Yeah, talking about the history degree guy, that's was another thing. Was I asked him if he remembered what his source was. He's like, it's been over 10 years since I wrote that. But he's a
Wow.
I'm trying not to be too critical. Like, I guess I have complaints. Maybe
Yeah.
not criticisms, but like the dude was a PhD historian, so his career is based on knowing the times and history. He wrote his article less than 8.5 years ago, definitely not over 10 years ago. It's signed, I think, at the bottom August 2012, and I'm like, this is your article. Like, did you lie about when it was written? Like,
Wow, maybe that's a good.
maybe. But as a historian, I pay more mind to those types of details, and that's not even the first historian to do that. I guess that other guy isn't technically a historian. I think he dropped out after his bachelor's degree. Maybe got his master's, but it's another guy with a new chronology role. I hit him up about when he first started using the term, and he told me that the 70s was more than 40 years ago, when it was less than 40 years ago at the time that he said it. And I'm like, you couldn't just do the math real quick? Your whole entire career, your gig is based on chronology and understanding the order of events. Yeah, and you're gonna botch this.
Yeah, you lived through that history, buddy.
And like, mistakes get made. Everyone makes mistakes. And so I'm not saying this to just get at them and say that they can't do anything worthwhile. I think you could say that and still get everything else right, but typically it's not like that. Like, typically there's more than one mistake. Like with this live stream tonight, you butchered my first and last name. My first name spelled with PH, last name spelled with an SEN at the end. But
I'm sorry.
It's well, I don't understand it, because you could see the name right there on the screen, and you just have to copy it. But I don't know. You didn't pay attention, and a mistake was made. But specifically for historians, at least, transmitting information is of the utmost importance. You might think these were two different guys, Stephen Sorensen and Stephen Sorensen, if you're reading it on the
Oh man,
page.
I'm
And
sorry.
if I mean, like, if you get that even more wrong, it's only another couple letters that you change. It gets to Stefan or something, and then you could drop the sen at the end, and it's Soren, and so you get all sorts of butchered names, like the telephone game, basically, but just butchering the names.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry about
Hey,
that.
don't beat yourself up over it. You are
Copied it
like,
wrong from my own phone, which I had it wrong in
nah,
from a while
don't beat
back.
yourself up over that. More people get my name wrong than right. So that you can find some comfort in that fact that most people get my name wrong. And I have to be like, hey, by the way, this is how my name is spelled. But it's weird, like bringing up mistakes. I've been conflicted on this recently. I've known for a while from what's his name, Carnegie, Dale Carnegie, his How to Win Friends and Influence People. It starts out with a story about not calling people out on their mistakes, and somebody butchers a Shakespeare quote, I think it is, and the guy doesn't correct. The guy goes to correct him. He interrupts his friend, so he doesn't. And then afterwards, one guy is talking to the other guy. He's like, "Hey, I know you're an expert on Shakespeare. You know that's not what he said." And the expert goes, "Well, of course I knew, but it's better to let people go on believing that and not confronting them because people don't like to be told that they're wrong." Which is the story there. I personally enjoy being told when I'm wrong if it's warranted. I don't like people telling me I'm wrong when I'm right because then they're wrong. They're wrong about me being wrong, and it gets a bit meta there. A lot of wrong being
Well,
committed.
is it more painful to be wrong and not know it, or to and look like a fool, or be wrong and be called out on it, and then you could change it? I think
Well,
they're
it's
different. They're
interesting.
different.
I'm reading this book on mistakes right now. I'm taking a short break from my calendar studies to go into psychology studies temporarily because the calendar stuff was getting a bit monotonous. Not gonna lie, gonna be straight up front about all that. It's a lot of technical. The calendar books, like it's a lot of technical information, understanding how these people named their months, how many days were in each month, when the calendars were in use, what even is the basis for the information on the calendars and stuff like that. Like a lot of technical stuff. Like if I wasn't as interested in chronology as I was, I'd probably fall asleep trying to read some of these books. But there's still good authors in chronology. I don't want to make it sound like it's terrible grounds. Like I'd still recommend reading Bickerman and Richards and Robert Hanna. His narration's a little bit drier, but Ken Monshine, he had a good narration. But now I'm reading on psychology. I'm reading this book called Better by Mistake. And it's about mistake culture and different mistakes we make. And what you were just talking about, I think they talk about this in the book. It's called double loop learning. And there's like single loop and double loop. And single loop is when you can correct a mistake. So you post my name incorrectly on the live stream, but single loop learning is you've learned that it's wrong and you correct that. And so it's now spelled correctly. But double loop learning is addressing the root of the mistake. Why did this happen? What caused this to go down? And you maybe determine that it was just carelessness. It was a mix of ignorance on how I spell my name and carelessness to find out that maybe you weren't spelling it right. And so
You gotta add laziness too,
yeah,
because
we could
like
throw some laziness and
I knew what your name was and I didn't read it when I wrote
we'll
it. So
we'll throw trauma into it as well because the goats. It could be a traumatic thing having to deal with the death of a mother and having to raise three children now, three more children. So lots of different factors, but those are now accounted for in this double loop learning system, and it can be avoided in the future. And so, to take the spotlight off of you, I'll put it on me now. I messed up on SB Alger's show, the picture show, when I was originally presenting some of the research on what was discovered with the eclipses, and it was too late. We did a live show. There's no going back to edit that to make it surefire. So I messed up, and there was nothing I could do to correct it, but I could go and I could comment in the comment section and be like, hey, this is what I messed up. Or what I ended up doing was rewatching all my interviews and taking notes and pointing out what I got right or what I got wrong and where, so that, it's like, now I can't go back and change what I said, but I can at least make a note on what I got wrong and then address myself to the task of not doing that again in the future. And so one of the things that I've done now, this is a result of mistakes that I've made, is I now have a system where I thoroughly source basically everything that is on the website. It comes with a citation to exactly where I got it, if it's not just like an opinion of mine or something I found out myself. And so now when, like with the email I was talking about, this PhD guy that couldn't think of a single work to name, but there's just so many out there on the history of history degrees. This guy, I was hitting him up about his source and he couldn't remember it. That wouldn't happen for me because I've got it thoroughly cited. It's right there. Usually even with the page number, if it comes from a work with a page, or if it's a website page, you can find it pretty quick. And so that is, it's not, mistakes can be tricky to define and pin down. And so is it a mistake that he didn't include a citation for him to remember in the future where he got that information? You could, there's a debate to be had there. I don't know if I would even consider that a mistake, but it's definitely an inconvenience in the case that somebody like me comes along and is like, hey, where did you hear that from? They're like, I don't know. This more than 10 years ago. It could be 20 years in the future from now. And if it's on my website with thorough citation, I could go right to it and find out. And that's an advantage to have that avoids any confusion and memory. We've only got so much space. Our brains are kind of like computers. They've only got so much storage space, and they're even worse than computers because at least computers, you can find the files if you organize it properly. I guess, I don't know. There's a lot of comparisons you could draw between a brain and a computer, but fundamentally they're different. So
yeah, the computer doesn't see something that's red and remember it as something that's green. But
right.
That's something that our brain could do because it's just painted so loosely, we can't possibly remember everything that we see specifically, so our brain chooses, they say, to what to remember and what not to. But I find that I have a photographic memory when it comes to locations, stuff. I'll remember where I stuck a paper, in a stack of things, or even just like my girlfriend's keys or whatever. I'll be walking through and see it and remember where it was. But names, always hard for me. I took art history, and I struggled to get a C because I could remember everything about the artist and the art, but I couldn't remember their names well enough to, I knew who it was, but I didn't know who it was. I would, almost like a dyslexia, but I could remember the dates photographically because phone numbers were always easy for me to remember back when we used to actually type them. But it's weird. But I also I'm right brain. I'm a right brain guy because when I was born with a really bad stigmatism in this eye, and so my brain quit using it because it was so blurry. And so up until the first grade, I was amblyopic in my right eye. So my left eye was working, and so I saw the entire world through my right brain instead of both my right and my left. Most people are right eye dominant, so they're using their left brain. So visual stuff is natural to me, and language is kind of a struggle as far as that goes. Like I'll sit for hours trying to phrase my text message the right way for like, if somebody doesn't make a big deal, I'll like write it and like I'll just like write the words backwards like it was, Spanish or something. I don't know. It's interesting, and it's helped me out a lot, I think, seeing things differently that way because I can see patterns.
I'm curious, before I get going here, I want to know, what do you think is the best way to handle somebody when they make a mistake?
Ooh. It really just, it depends on the circumstances.
Yeah, I could vibe with that.
It's nice to be corrected, but some people don't deal well with any sort of constructive criticism. Feels like the hot seat, or it really depends on who it is. But
yeah, there's not really a one size fits all reaction there.
Yeah,
I was listening to this podcast earlier, and I've mispronounced words on my shows before, but this guy, it seemed like he was doing it on purpose. Like he gets a kick out of purposefully mispronouncing words, and it was at first I'm like, okay, like doesn't know how to say that word, but then as the time went on, like there was maybe like 20 words he mispronounced, and I was like, there's no way, this video is only half an hour long and these are all different words. There's that guy Napoleon, the military leader, you know what his last name is?
Oh yeah, they said he was short.
The short guy.
Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yeah, Bonaparte. I think that's a pretty common, like most people know that, how to say that, but this guy didn't, and it blew my mind. He had a whole episode on the guy. I can't remember exactly. I think it was like Bonaparte or Bonaparte or something. He had an extra noise on the end there.
Yeah, that's maybe a little bit. Bit.
But I get like not being able to pronounce Fomenko because that's a Russian name, and not many people pronounce it in the Russian way. More people say Fomenko, but this guy was saying Fomenko, like a mink, and that was like, it sounded like he was like hitting something like on an anvil, like
Fomenko.
Yeah, like a tink.
That's funny.
You know what the didact is?
Do I know what a didact is?
Yeah, or you know that word?
Autodidact is someone who teaches themselves, right?
I think this guy said didache. But it was enough mispronunciations that I was like, this guy's got to be doing this for fun, like. Especially when
like there's a proper mispronunciation of words where it's like it's enough of a joke to be a joke, like look at that creature instead of look at that creature.
Overall, it gave me a little bit of entertainment listening to that, and I just wonder.
Memorable.
Yeah, it was memorable. It definitely stuck out. I'd never heard anyone pronounce monk like monk. He says monk, the monks, the Jesuit monks.
It's funny. I hear some people say, I say tourist, but some people say tourist.
Tourist.
Like Taurus, like a tour.
Yeah, like a Taurus.
Taurus.
Like yeah,
Taurus.
or like a bowl.
Yeah.
Man, tourist. I don't know. I say tourist as well. Like
Tourist.
a tour. It's a person who tours as a tourist. Someone who studies chronology is a chronologist.
Hey, there's another one. Yeah, I don't know. I always, yeah, phonetics is rough.
I feel the need to further add the disclaimer that I'm not making fun of people when I'm laughing at them. Like, I find it funny, but I don't think that it means it, I don't view them as any lesser. And I don't want to advocate to think that people are lesser just because they don't pronounce words the same way as you, or they get dates wrong or something. I think everyone is it's a bit of fun play, but at the end of the day, respect is important. So if anyone ever said, don't mention that again, I might respect that, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's definitely respect is definitely part of it. Like I used to watch stuff, listen to stuff, read stuff, and I never really paid attention to remembering the name of who it was that it happened to, or when it happened specifically, or those little details are very important, and they add credibility to your story. Like it was Sean SP that made me really think about it, because he would tell me all these conspiracy stories of things that I hadn't heard about yet, and he would know the names of every person involved, and I was like, wow.
Sean's a cool guy. You got to get him on Weavingspiders here.
Yeah, I think maybe he was on our first one for a minute, but we had like a whole bunch of people for a second. But yeah.
But yeah, it's also, I think about that because like I'm laughing about, I guess I am laughing at people at their expense, but it's very popular in American culture. Like almost all of the popular comedy shows are about other people messing up, and you laugh at that. And so I think about that, like in a way of, is there any merit to these jokes? Like they really do pick people and then just do as much as they can to make a joke out of them. Like, and I guess that is really what it is making a joke out of it. So as I'm getting older, and I try to monitor what I do and how I behave and how I talk about people, and I'm starting to think that there's more benefit to discussing real things, and instead of making jokes about stuff and laughing at it, even though I find it entertaining. So that's why I set aside just a small portion of time now. I figured on this stream, it's kind of more lax and don't have to be as serious. So this is not how I am on when I operate with other stuff. I had some moments in this chat where I was serious about talking about Famiga's new chronology and stuff like that, but I am a pretty serious person all around, even though on this show I've been a bit goofy. So you got to get to know me. Anyone watching, you join me for the trip.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was thinking about stuff. Like always at the end, I'll remember all of my questions for you.
Did you come up with a question? I'll stick around for another minute here.
Well, it's probably way too long. I was going to ask you what you thought about giants aliens, uh, Antarctica.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be way too long to get my thoughts on giants, then aliens, then the continent of Antarctica, or the wall, depending on how you see it. I think it's a continent, but I'm open to being persuaded to think otherwise. But giants, definitely, there's been real tall people. Um, we found skeletons of we found skeletons of really short people. We found skeletons of really tall people. We're hominids. There's all sorts of other animals out there that uh, could be giants. We've figured out ways to communicate with dogs, other apes. I'd imagine that potentially we'd be able to communicate with a giant race. So open to the idea. I'd be interested in looking over some literature. But when I ask people to send me stuff on that, I want you to send me the best thing that you got. Because if I'm not impressed by your best, then it's only downhill from the best. So hit me with the best. Aliens, I think I talked about this on the last one. I kind of treat it like God. If you think aliens are real, then let them pop up. Like, I'd like to see it. I know that there's a possibility that it could be out there. I personally haven't ever seen an alien. Maybe one time on mushrooms I saw an alien, but like I was tripping balls. So to say if it was real or if it was a figment of my imagination, I'm kind of prone to think the latter. But also, it is kind of weird, like how telepathic it was. So I don't know. It was still pretty weird. It was definitely an experience that changed my life, and I had never seen anything like that before, sober, or on mushrooms any other time. I've done them quite a few times. So yeah, pretty weird. Aliens. Yeah. I think that maybe a lot of the flying saucer stuff that's associated with aliens is really just people. I'm kind of prone to believe that there may be a breakaway civilization that got out in around the Second World War and is decades, if not centuries, ahead of us in our technology.
Are you talking about moon Nazis?
I'm talking about moon Nazis. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, and then also pulling in Antarctica, I think possibly that's where they're at. That there's some sort of gate there. You could get into the underworld, get deep into the earth. But also there's just a ton of land, like lots of spots to be there. You don't need a whole lot of space to operate out of. But no, this stuff that I'm talking about right now, highly speculative. I don't put too much stock in it. I put way more stock in my studies into chronology and time than I do on my beliefs about aliens and giants in Antarctica. When that was stuff I was into in my teenage years. I'm 25 now, about to be 26. So it's been at least half a decade since I've looked into that. It'd be interesting to go back on it with my new mind. We grow and some people don't get any more critical or work at all to improve their knowledge, but I spend every day strategizing and trying to figure out what I can do better, to study better, to make better use of my time. And so I definitely would say I've become much more efficient at studying and reporting than I was 5 years ago. And so yeah, that's definitely a good experience to have. So that's my answer to your question there.
Right.
I think I hit all the bases. Did
So,
you think of any others as I was talking there?
so where's it all going?
Where is it all going? Into the future. We got Kevin Duggan. I'm not sure how to say his name. Talking about mispronouncing words. Which is better, jam or jelly? Whichever one isn't made from the preservatives. I think that there's I can't remember which one it is. That's why every time I go to the store, I have to look at the backs, and I'm like, all right, which one is it that I'm supposed to get again? Because I like them made straight from the grape or straight from the strawberry. I don't like to mess with the made from preservative stuff. Just get the straight stuff.
So, do you go peanut butter and then jelly, or jelly and then peanut butter?
For that, I will do jelly and then peanut butter, but I put them on different pieces of bread, and I think it's easier to get the jelly off of the knife than the peanut butter off the knife, so it's quicker because there's less downtime in between spreading the things.
Correct. That was the correct answer.
Jam is what I would pick. Jelly, I'm looking at Google. I'm reading this off of finecooking.com. Jelly is a clear fruit spread made from cooked fruit juice and sugar, possibly pectin, which helps it gel and thicken. Jam is a thick spread made from fruit juice, chopped, crushed, or pureed fruit and sugar. Pectin may also be added to help it gel, but jams are usually looser than jellies.
So jam's better?
I think so. I don't know. I'd have to go and look at the jar in the store to see, because that, I don't know. I don't
There's
think
no
that was
value
clear
judgment for that pectin. Like, isn't pectin made from like beaks and feathers?
I don't even know. To be honest, I don't really eat jelly or jam. So it's like asking me which plane I prefer to fly on. Like, I don't fly.
Okay. So is it sock shoe, or sock shoe?
Oh, well, I'm not a psychopath. I do my socks first and then my shoes second.
Well,
now here's the real question. Socks before or after trousers?
Well, yeah. Now that's a good question. That one, usually it's trousers.
But before or after them?
Usually it's trousers first.
There you go. Yeah.
There's extenuating circumstances, like pants are in the dryer.
True. It's just if you put your socks on first without pants on, you look like a mad chicken of sorts.
Oh, I don't mind looking like a mad chicken. I just hate getting my socks wet.
What do you got leaks in your house or something that your socks will get wet if you put them on before your pants?
There's always some kind of water on the floor in the bathroom, but I mean, mostly it's because I have dogs that drink toilet water sometimes. So
we got Kevin telling us that pectin is made from toenail clippings of a cow.
Oh, so, sweet!
Yum.
That sounds like it's good for your probably your hair and your nails growing.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Who knows?
Does pectin help?
Yeah, it says it was first isolated in 1825, I think, is what I read there. I exited out of that page, though.
Oh, man.
1825 by Henry Brackenot. I don't know if that's how you say it or not, but talking about butchering people's names. You ever watch Seinfeld?
Yes.
George Costanza, he's Jerry's best friend. He thinks he can guess people's last names on how to say them if he sees it written down. He butchers it like every time.
That's funny. I haven't seen that one forever.
Yeah, that was an old show, 90s.
Yeah, I used to watch it when it was on TV when I was in high school.
I don't
Or maybe
watch
I
too
was
much
in
TV
junior
nowadays. Nowadays, I just do live YouTube streams, read books. Nah.
I try not to watch TV, but YouTube is really hard to stay away from.
Well, yeah, YouTube's nice though, because like lots of educational content on there. Runs
Oh, yeah.
dry though pretty quick. Not
It does.
enough people,
Catch up.
especially in this field of chronology. I keep an eye out for new posts on chronology, but there's no one posting on chronology. The chronology is apparently a really big word in India. A lot of Indian videos use the word chronology in them with a bunch of like, no, I don't know what the script is called, but it's the weird script, very weird for native English speakers who don't speak other languages.
Oh, that reminds me. I got this. I got a gift for somebody from. It was like a Chinese, fantastic Chinese gift. It was like it was a crib text, from that movie, The Da Vinci Code. You know that
Yeah.
thing, twist, and it was actually a pretty cool little toy. And then it came with these like rings that were inside that came with like necklaces that you were supposed to put them on, and they say like one says best and the other one says friends. And then it also came with, and you're supposed to put the necklace inside there as you gave it to somebody. And then it also came with replica rings from the movie Lord of the Rings. And then and then it came with this card, and I gotta get it real quick, but it's like they just looked at a whole bunch of greeting cards with English words on them and put them all together.
Like a ransom note with the words cut out from magazines.
I'm like all those things really didn't go together at all, like the cryptex and then the friendship rings and the Lord of the Rings rings.
Yeah, no, that seems like a pretty random assortment. Like Da Vinci, they just like Googled what was popular in America.
Yeah, so here's
like Lord of the Rings, Da Vinci Code, and thank you cards.
This says, with warmth and understanding at this time of sorrow and friendship that is yours for all the tomorrows. Happy every day.
You ever watch Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
It's like Charlie Day writing. He's illiterate. So he
exactly.
Closed the Super Bowl episode. They're like closed for Super Bowl and salmonella. They're like, which one is it?
Yeah, that's funny. Day man.
Yeah, that's a great one too. All right, yeah, I gotta get going here. I stayed way past when I was planning on bouncing, but yeah, it's been fun. That's why it's easily justifiable, because we justify having fun even if it means we stay up way too late.
That's right. That's what we do. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
And
all right,
you should come back and we'll talk about. I have all these questions that I'm going to ask you.
You need to go to the store, or if you already have this, get like a little journal. Start writing these questions down every time you have them. You get like a list of 10 of them, then you hit me up and you're like, all right, we got 10 questions to get through now. And then every time you get like up to 5 or 10, we can do a quick show. We call it Jim questions Stephen. We'll come up with a better title than that. Call questioning. The questioning.
The questioning.
Yeah. Welcome back to the questioning, everyone. This is Captain Jim speaking, and today I'm once again interviewing Stephen Sorensen. That's with a PH and an SEN. I made this mistake once, never again.
Okay.
But like I do that too. I got all sorts of lists of questions. If I didn't write them down, I'd never remember them. I don't know about never, but like it'd be a lot more difficult. That's why we make lists.
Yeah, true. That's true. I did have a list, but
no. We gotta stop. I gotta go. We gotta cut this. We gotta end this. I don't want to leave you all by yourself because I know Bucephus is supposed to show up, but you might have to pull the goats back on screen to keep the audience entertained.
I may have to.
Or talk about the Nazis on the moon.
Moon Nazis.
I'm about to go pass out, so I will talk to you later. Thanks everyone for listening to us. We had fun tonight. Interacted with the chat a bit. I appreciated the jam and jelly question. It got me thinking. That is one of the life's important questions. You know, you can't. If you don't answer that question at least once in your life, I'm not sure if you can say you ever truly lived.
That's true. So. And when you're feeling peckish for some pecking, you can think about them.
I like to get my pectin straight from the source. Like a file to the farm. All right. You take it easy.
I will. You too. That was mine. See you later. See you later, alligators. So it looks like that was a great show. And I'm not sure if anyone else is coming to join us from the usual crew. I think it's one of those weird astrological backwards moving retrograde days. Oh, here, let me turn this off. Distracting backgrounds here. Let's see. Boom. Show background off. Whoa. And anybody want to see some baby goats? Go grab my little sweeties. Hi, sweeties. Hi. Come here. You want to hang out? Oh, you're just a baby. You're my sweeties. Hi, sweeties. Come here. Hi, come here. Whoa. There's the boy. Come here, girly girls. Oh, come here. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Come here. Come here, baby. Ooh. Come here, baby. Come here. Ooh. Oh, you're little babies. These are little babies. Oh no. Oh no. Forgot your sister. Here, hang on. I'm coming. Come here, baby. Come here. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Come here. Hey, we're coming. Who likes goats? Hi, baby goats. These are the babies. So, let's see. They're 5 days old, and their names. So this one, this little sweetie right here, she's really soft. She has brown ears, and her name is Maybelline. She's a very sweet girl. And this guy in the blue, Mr. Handsome in the blue, he is a boy. His name is Zipper because he's kind of zippy. And this lovely lady over here, her name is Jupiter because she has these really pretty eyes. One of them is white, and the other one is brown, and she looks spacey, sort of like David Bowie, kind of, you know. Hi guys. It's they're just such sweet little animals. I never knew that they were so cool. Mwah. Anybody can't eat euros no more? Yeah, these little guys got a little umbilical cord. See, just still on there, and they're unfortunately they're orphans because their mommy died when they were being born, and that's why I've got all three of them because they just couldn't be separated. They're too sad. But yeah, they are just sweet little animals. I'm looking forward to having some milk goats someday. Hi, hi. And these babies are half miniature because their mom was a miniature goat and their dad was a big boy. He's a big meat goat, big, beautiful, shaggy, kind of shaggy dog looking guy. Hi. Mwah. Hi. Meh. Meh. Oh, oh, oh. Hi. You see their little tails wagging? Like puppy dogs. Hi. Hi. Wag your tail. Hi, sweetie. Hi, sweetie. Oh, they're so nice. They're so nice. They're going to get kind of big, I think. A little big. Bigger than a dog. Probably as big as a person, maybe, you know. Maybe not quite weighing as much as a person. Hopefully not. Anybody else? Anybody else have goats in the audience? I've never had a goat before. I always thought that they were kind of beautiful, but those eyes are just so unique. They have like their irises are not really round. They're sort of they're squarish or something, almost like a snake. But you guys are pretty, aren't you? Hi. Oh, hi. Yeah, when I brought him home, the all my animals, I have 2 dogs and a cat, and they all just came running in to investigate these babies, and they loved them. Everybody loves a little baby goat, I think, don't they? Don't they, little guys? And these guys, they eat. They're bottle fed. I feed them a bottle every 3 hours until they. It's probably going to be for like another month and a half or 2 months, maybe. I think it's like 8 weeks that they nurse, but yeah, I'm gonna have to be doing mom and dad duty for you guys for a little bit, and I need to build them a goat house. They like to have shelter and stuff to climb on. They're little climbers. And you're kind of a little biter. You're kind of a little picker at me. He's always nibbling on your shirt. Yeah. Hi, sweetie. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Yeah, this is Jupiter. She's got white on one of her ears. And this one, Maybelline, she's the sweet. Hi, Maybelline. Hi, Maybelline. Hi. Oh, you're a good animal. I almost called you a puppy. Oh, she likes to cuddle. She's definitely a sweetie. I want to get like a big bag and just put these baby goats in it and have a bag of baby goats, carry it around with me everywhere. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be cool? So yeah, these guys are since they are just eating bottles, they don't eat any solid food really yet, and so mostly they just pee, but they do poop a little bit right now, and it's that if anybody's ever experienced a newborn baby poop, it's like this sort of pasty yellow formula, sort of, not solidness, and it's very it's unique. It's got its own it's identifiable, and these kids have baby poop just like a real baby. It's just crazy. And when they cry out, when they get separated from each other, they say mama, mama. Sounds like a real person, right? Hi. Hey, where you going? Hey, sweetheart. Yeah. Let's see what you guys in the chat have to say. H-Bug has goats in Discord. Yes, I have an email. It's jamesmaiden23@gmail.com. Let's see if I can type it in there. It's JAMESMAIDEN 23 at the Gmails. So who's H-Bug? And I don't know if there's a Discord with goats in it. I'm down. I'm there. Yeah. So it's getting to be farmy out here. And I actually live in the city, so it's not a lot of people have goats where I live, at least in the city part. A lot of people have chickens. I've got chickens and roosters, but I've always wanted goats. I'm so happy about you guys. You guys are the coolest. You are so bitey. Little bitey. You are so bitey. Mwah. Hi. Hi, sweetheart. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hi. Hi. You guys need a bath. Yeah, you need baths. Oh. Mwah. Mwah. They're just like little puppy dogs. Little sweet little puppy dogs. Oh, you guys. Oh, you guys. Hi. You have such a pretty face. They're all just so pretty. And the girls, they have little horn buds. You're going to have horns. Jupiter's going to have horns. And she's a girl. And Maybelline is going to have horns. You have a kind of, you're going to have some pokey horns, Maybelline. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty. Huh. Yeah. And you, are you going to have horns? Kind of a knucklehead. You knucklehead. Oh, look at these little goat lips, little goat tongues. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Hey, no, you stay out of there. I don't want you falling back there. Where are you going? Where are you going? Hi. I've never seen white hoofs before. These little darlings have white hoofs. Yeah, you got white on your white tips. It's like you have a French manicure. Oh, you have less white. Oh, the babies. Oh, the babies. I'm gonna have to take you guys outside. Play soon. I'm gonna play in the yard with you. H-Bug is a retired school teacher, and now she's a housewife and farmer. Kevin Duggan says he grew up in an Angus farm, an Angus cow farm. There's a number of farmers in our Discord. Oh, cool. That's awesome. I would recommend anybody to get goats, but I haven't had them long enough to actually recommend them, except for that I think they're super cool, super cute. You guys are super cute and super cool, and you're trying to climb stuff. Oh. And they have short hair. Yeah. And they're not as prone to getting fleas or ticks, maybe, or lice, as sheep are. Sheep are in the same family, I'd say. Someplace. Oh. And Zipper, he's got a star-shaped, or not a star, it's a teardrop. He's got a teardrop kneecap spot. Yeah, you guys, I'm gonna put you all on leashes and go for a dogs and cat and goat walk, I think, one of these days. Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna probably call it a night and let you guys say goodbye to these beautiful little kiddos. Hi, little kiddos. And I will keep posting goat progress because I'm super excited about it, and I want to share all the cuteness that I can with everybody before these little babies grow up. Before they get too big to go. Oh, they're so cute. You're so bitey. You're kind of a bitey, aren't you? He's already getting aggressive. He's gonna have to be. We're gonna have to put a rubber band on your. We're gonna have to clip you so that you don't get any funny business ideas. Whoa, careful. Come here. I don't want you girls falling off. You're too little for that. You're too pretty. You're too pretty to fall down. Yes, I love goats. These goats are the best. Mwah. Mwah. You were already butting me, headbutting me, huh? I kind of like you. I kind of like you, Mr. Tenacious. He's like, I'm just looking out for my sisters. Oh. They have such pretty heads. Pretty shaped heads, don't they? Are you hungry again? What time is it? It's 10. Let's see. What time do we feed you? I think it's food time again. That was 3 hours ago. Man, 7 o'clock. Now it's 10. All right, lovelies. I'm gonna put you back in your little area while I get your bottles ready. Okay. And everybody else, thank you for dropping by. Kevin Duggan, thank you for the clue about H-Bug. I will have to check that out. Are you peeing? Oh no, we're having an accident. All right.